So today we're going to look at the summarizing the data. So we have a list of data and we often get a whole heap of summary statistics. I did show you how to do this the other day, but we'll go through it again. So summarizing the data, so we will look at things like the median. So I just want you to write here too that the median is the center. So if you're asked to comment on the center, you just have to state the median. All right, so the median is the center. The range is always like max minus min. The IQR is Q3 minus Q1, and I'll show you how to do that. So this, when we're summarizing data, often it leads into box plots, and that's what we'll do next lesson. But for this one, we're just going to do, we'll just get the stats first, practice getting the stats. So as I said, the median is the midpoint of the data. So if you've got all your, say you set all these numbers, you would have, if you have your median, you've got 50% of the things before and 50% after. So if you surveyed 100 things, 100 people, and you found the median, say we surveyed and we got 100 people's heights, there'd be the median. If we found the median height, there'd be 50 people with below that number and 50 people above that number, okay? Because if we had 100, so it's how the data goes. So the midpoint, is a 50%. Now, we often need to locate where it is. So the way you locate the median, so be careful, this is how you find what position it is you do n plus 1 divided by 2 position. That's where it is. And what is n? So where n equals the number of data, yeah? Maybe just write that, number of data, so you know. Okay, the calculators do find it for you, but you will need to know how to find them a little bit manually, and I'll show you that later on. Okay, so the range is always here. We've written largest, so max minus min, it might be referred to. In our calculator, it's referred to as that. And the interquartile range is like the middle 50%. So if you have, say, all your data, like I was talking about before, you have your IQR, say this is the IQR, there's like 50% in here. So if you had 100 data points, you'd have 50 in between there, and there'd be 25 below it and 25 above it if you had 100, so, or 25%, yeah, to show you. So why does that become good? So the IQR is good because see how it just tells us where the middle 50% is. That's much better because if I use the maximum, the range, and I use maximum and minimum, what about if we have these extreme, like an extreme value? It means it throws our range out, doesn't it? It makes it look, it's not really practical. It's not where most of our things are occurring. So a good way to see it is, if you had, say we collected all our weights in this class and we decided, all right, so we got all the weights and we ranged from, I'm just making these up. So we ranged from 90 was the maximum to 50 was the lowest. So we've got a range of about, so the range is about 40, okay? But then in comes, we get a new student, they were applying for the Biggest Loser, they're huge. They come in here and their weight is 200 kilos. So my range has now become 150. So we're saying that your weights range between 150. It's not really what's happening, is it? It's just that one person is up there. So that's why the IQR, if I talk about the middle 50%, that large person's not going to affect that, is it? Because the middle people will still be the middle people. All right, so maybe I just want you to write a little stat here, a little note here, that the IQR is a resistance statistic. So a resistance stat, and good for skewed data. So if you have those positive skewed, negative skewed, because we have those extreme values, skewed data, and with outliers, and same is the median. The median is also a resistance statistic. Because if you think about it, if we found, talking about those weights, if we found our class average when we just had the 90 and the 90 highest and the lowest was 50, say we're all right, we work out, we get a class average of what, we add them all up and we get some value. When that biggest person comes in, our new student who's huge, and we get our average has gone way up, isn't it? Is it a real representation of this class? No, but it will drag that up. But the median, it will still be similar. It'll be correct because the median, the middle person will still be the middle person, even with that big boom bar up there. So the median is also resistant to those big extreme things. So it's a better measure of center. All right.